to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Mercha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, this is going to be very brief, okay, and wait till you hear this. Now, I want to read just certain portions of this article here, all right, which says, this is from Yahoo News, all right, it says, carrot versus stick, what can convince, unvanessed, right? So, um, I'm just gonna jump down, and basically what you see here is, let's see, story continues. There's a section here, all right, where you see the perspectives, all right, and these are, certain, some of them are, health experts, quote unquote, some are, just people who apparently their opinions are so important that it matters when all of ours don't. Nonetheless, when you hear, especially one of these, man, you hear what exactly what they're proposing. All right, you're gonna understand why the scriptures say that the devil is gonna come down with great wrath. All right, especially considering that this is just the beginning. Okay, so now I'm just gonna jump down here, and see where. Okay, all right. So it says here, advocates for mandates and other coercive Vanessa requirements say the U.S. and Slovakia for that noise. I don't know who's doing fireworks at this time, but it says while they concede that a certain percentage of Americans will never get the shot, they argue a lot of people would roll up their sleeves, all right, if being without Vanessa made daily life more difficult. Whether it's a threat of losing a job, the inability to shop or eat at certain businesses, or even the inconvenience of having to take mitigation steps that others don't. As evidence, they point to France, where millions of people signed up for Vanessa in the days after President Emmanuel Macron announced that proof of Vanessa would be required to access cafes, restaurants, trains, and planes. Is that supporters of this strategy say there simply isn't time. Whoa, hold on. Now you know I got to get the scripture now. All right, and you know exactly where I'm going. Okay, Revelation 12 and 12. And I'll read it and we'll go right back. So this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down onto you having great wrath. And we know that devil starts with Esau, Edom, all right, and their elites. And it says, and so whatever these people speak, they're just echoing the orders of their elites or their higher ups. So it says, the devil is come down onto you having great wrath, because he what? He knoweth that he hath but a what? Short time. Short time. Short time. So let's read this again. It says, supporters of this strategy say there simply isn't in time to wait for public health messages to incrementally put a dent in the size of those not acquainted with Vanessa. It says population when the DV is spreading so rapidly. See, they don't have time to wait and let health messages do the work. So now what? They also cite the danger, all right, of a Vanessa-resistant variant, okay, becoming increasingly possible the more the virus spreads. So not only are you putting others' health at risk, but you're creating a danger of this thing getting even more out of hand. Okay, now it gets interesting. It says conservatives have expressed, okay, no, not here. All right, let's go down a bit more, and here we go. It says one factor, let's see, one factor outside of public policy that could influence Vanessa rates is the virus itself. The number of doses administered worldwide or nationwide has ticked up slightly over the past week, so on and so forth. Now, as you can see, it says perspectives. get tough. Coercion can work where persuasion has failed. There are undoubtedly some hardcore groups. And when you actually read further up in this article, it actually mentions that two-thirds, okay, two-thirds have received, I think, there we go, it's right here actually. It says, as of Wednesday, two-thirds of eligible Americans have received at least one dose. Impose a majority of the remaining one-third, all right, if you know, you know, who are unvanessaed, consistently say they will never go to bed with Vanessa. Okay? So there's some more spiritual stuff in itself. But now let's go back and read these. So it says here, there are undoubtedly some hardcore groups and individuals who will never deal with Vanessa. But many Americans are likely on the fence and not sure if a shot is necessary. Depriving them of the opportunities Vanessa people get to enjoy might be enough to convince them. And this is Michael A. Cohen, MSNBC. So they're saying that there's two types of people that haven't dealt with Vanessa yet. There's those that are on the fence and they just need just a little bit more, persuasion or coercion. And there are those that are just hardcore, the one-third, all right, that are just like, nah, I'm never doing this. See, those are the ones they're going to come and say, we need to get even. We need to go draconian and beyond. We need to start taking them out the houses and start taking them to them camps. All right. It says the unvanessed should have to pay a price for their decision. Check this out. And this is by Max Boot from Washington Post. It says, this is madness. Stop making reasonable appeals to those who will not listen to reason. It is a waste of time. Start mandating that anyone who wants to travel on a plane, train or bus, attend a concert or movie, eat at a restaurant, shop at a store, work in an office, or visit any indoor space show proof of Vanessa or a negative CV test. Now, like we keep saying, they're going to do their goal. The goal is not a test. The goal is to move away from that and get Vanessa all up on you. All right, that's the goal for them. Cuomo said it. That's the mission, to get these people to deal with Vanessa. It's not about a test. They don't care about a test. All right, they want you to deal with Vanessa. So very soon, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna eliminate this option. Cuomo already said it. They're going to eliminate this option. But as you heard this individual say, now imagine they eliminate this option, and your only option is to show proof that you've dealt with Vanessa in order to shop at a store. Hold on. But a store, BJ's is a store, Sam's Club is a store, grocery stores are stores. And what do you get from stores like this? Do you not get food? All right. You have stores that have, they pre-make, the food is pre-made, restaurants, you go there, buffets. But then there's also grocery stores where you get the food that you're going to go make. So now if you can't go into these stores without proof of dealing with Vanessa, how do you get your groceries? How do you get food to eat? Oh, okay, yeah, I just order Uber. I just order, use Instacart, Postmates. But then hold on one second. What happens now when Instacart, Postmates, and all these delivery services say we're only delivering to those that have dealt with Vanessa for the safety of our workers? You got to think about these things. Now what? Okay, this and these are just things they're throwing on the table. Okay, and but just give it some time, man. Because what happened? They started with incentives, and we told you when they started with incentives, they found out, okay, it doesn't work as much. It worked a bit, but not as much as we want. So let's move on to what? Mandates. And now we're seeing them start the mandates. But yet, you might get a few people that were on the fence with these light mandates, but then they're going to say, okay, that worked a bit, but not all the way. Let's repeat what we did. Let's go for harsher mandates to get those hardcore groups. And in order to get those hardcore groups, you need hardcore mandates. Okay? So that's why the scripture, John was not exacerbating when he said great wrath. Okay? They're gonna come with no chill. All right, absolutely no chill, and they're gonna use everything in their power to justify why and how they're able to do that. As the scripture said, when you actually jump down to the 17th verse, it says what? And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua. And you know why they're really upset? Because, not only do we not want to deal with Vanessa, but that is a sign to them that we're going to be a problem for their new world order, because we're against, or we're not with or listening and following just like the regular sheep. That's a problem. Okay. Next one says a lot of people would choose Vanessa if their job was on the line. Well, it's time to make the I ain't getting Vanessa crowd pull their weight for a change and require them to get a shot if they want to get back to work. Sounds like a pretty good start to me, Roger Brown, a Herald Tribune in Florida. And if you notice, they say for those who are going to be working in the office, but then they make it seem as though you have an option to not work in the office. Well, that's not really up to you. That's up to the company. And if the company is down in cahoots and they're saying, if you want to work here, you need to get your ass into the office. And if you want to get your ass in this office, well, you need to have dealt with Vanessa and show us proof. All right. It says businesses that require Vanessa are exercising their own freedom. Let me concede a right for people to be unenlightened. Yet, about all that right means is that you are not going to face criminal penalties for avoiding a needle pushed into your arm. At the same time, private businesses have a right to fire you or not to hire you if you don't get shots. J. Ambrose, Miami Herald. And what is this telling you? This is telling you that you can't rely on this world. You literally need to have faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. How do we get our day-to-day, our daily bread? Ultimately from the Lord, but usually it's what you get paid. You go work and you get paid, but we're seeing that we can't rely on that. Okay? We need to exhibit that faith. All right? It says you have certain people here saying there are ways, to guide people without mandates. But I'm mainly going to read the ones that are, from those hardcore, ones that are saying, nah, get these guys. It says mandates will protect those who can't deal with Vanessa. A surge in the V, all right, puts at risk all of our brothers and sisters. See how they're all coming from different approaches? Right? Some are like, yo, stop them from doing anything. Some are like, yo, don't let them go to work. Some are like, oh my gosh, are you really gonna say that you won't deal with Vanessa? Don't you know you're putting others' lives at risk? They're coming from emotional perspectives, draconian perspective, everything they could come with. And what are they doing? They are demonizing that term, that label, and anybody that falls under the category, all right, of unvanessa, anybody that doesn't want to deal with it. So when and they do this all the time. So when they label you that, you're going to be so demonized that nobody's going to care what they do to you. All right? When they have these torture black sites, these torture camps where they go and they torture quote unquote terrorists, do you think there's a large outcry about that here in the US? No. Because they justify that through the demonization of that term. So when you hear terrorist, you don't care what happens to them. Matter of fact, you could care less if they got shot. See? And that's what they do. Because you don't see them as just another person. They're terrorist. So when they demonize this label and they throw you or they slap you with this label, people don't really see you as human. They see you as the label. And the label is something that's bad. So they can care less what happens to you if you end up in a FEMA camp or not. Because that's what's coming. You best believe that's the next thing. They're going to start coming into houses, grabbing people up, and taking them to isolation centers. And telling them you can't leave because you're a threat to everybody else. And until you deal with Vanessa, you're not leaving. Okay, just wait and see. As it says here, a surge in the V puts at risk all of our brothers and sisters with weakened immune systems, people with genetic disorders, people dealing with illnesses like cancer, people with ailments ranging from lupus to rheumatoid or arthritis to type 1 diabetes, very young children who cannot yet deal with Vanessa at risk, and their parents, their brothers and sisters, their grandparents. See, they're playing that angle. You're putting these people who, it's not like they're choosing, but they just can't. You're putting their health at risk, all because of your selfish decisions. Is that right? Okay, all right. You have one here. It says social pressure can make a big difference. Check this out. See, this is another angle they're coming with. And what do the scriptures say? Friends, all right, shall fight one against another. One people shall stand up against another. Now it says the time for analyzing why these human, check this out, these human petri dishes have chosen to ignore the medical science that could save them and us is over. We need a different strategy. I propose shunning. Things should get personal too. People should require friends to have dealt with Vanessa to attend the barbecues and birthday parties they host. Friends don't let friends spread CV. All right. So nowadays, oh, well, we can't be friends. We can't hang out. I'm having a party and I want you to come, but I'm not going to have, you there if you ain't dealt with such and such. I mean, how desperate can these people get? Okay. It says, mandates or not, reaching herd immunity will require convincing a lot of people. Persuasion is going to play a big role in boosting Vanessa, a reality that's easy to ignore when the health of the community is at stake. All right. Then you have others from, other perspectives. Mandates won't address the reasons the most vulnerable people don't have it. Unvanessa people need support, not derision. Giving people money to deal with Vanessa would be the most effective strategy. Let's hear this one. Is there a way to substantially expand Vanessa in the narrow window of the next 6 months without going in for heavy-handed, possibly counterproductive interventions? To me, the only major idea that seems worth considering is the simplest one. We could start paying people to take Vanessa. And now, if you notice, they're trying to play that role of, well, we're not gonna come and physically force you. We're gonna leave the choice up to you, But then you got to make the right choice. But then we're gonna make it hard for you to make the wrong choice. We're gonna guide you. We're not gonna make you. Well, what's that supposed to mean? Oh, we're not saying you can't eat. Of course you can eat. But we're just saying in order to come to the grocery store to buy what you can eat, you gotta know what you gotta do. The ball's in your court. What's in your wallet? It's up to you. We're not stopping you. You're stopping yourself. You see that kind of perspective and mindset? That's what they're coming with. And they know that people are gonna break once they start getting draconian. That's what they're hoping for. And their hope is, how draconian can we get till they all break? But you know what? They know some of us are not gonna break. And so they already have a plan in place for that. Some of these draconian measures are just for those that are gonna break under pressure, but they're gonna take it to the extremes. All right, for those that refuse all the way, and they know they're gonna have to do that. All right, but guess what? When you come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against you, and we are waiting gladly and happily and patiently on that. Here's another one. Shaming unvanessed people is counterproductive. See, so you have two sides, but what you can see is you can hear more of the mandates, more of the stick, more of the forget this, we're frustrated with them. Now let's make them do it. You're hearing more of that than the other side. All right, many unvanessed are victims of misinformation and social pressure. All right, it says, I actually hold a certain kind of empathy for everyday people who might get sick because they are so tangled up in their politics and their beliefs right now, who've convinced themselves that not wearing a mask or getting Vanessa says something to their friends and neighbors that they're part of the right crowd. So they're coming after everything, man. All right. They're coming after everything. And that's why the scripture said they're going to come down with great wrath, man. All right. So definitely be prepared because your life is going to get very, very different, all right, in a difficult way. But if you have faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, you will make it. Okay. Ultimately, if you're of the elect, which we all hope to be. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying unto the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.